The SCIANJ County Improvement Authority come to order is Monday, October 28, 2013 at 5 p.m. and we're at the lower level of the pinball building, not the basement, the lower level. You got to all stand and salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Pledge of allegiance. Notice of this meeting has been provided to the public in accordance with New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act by publication in the South Jersey Times and the Elmer Times, newspaper circulated in SCIANJ County, and by posting the notice in the SCIANJ County Clerk's Office. Copies of the board minutes and the video of this meeting will be posted on SCIANJ.com. Have a roll call, please.
John Eber.
Here.
Lee Schneider.
Here.
Paul Wakefield.
Here.
Pete Warren.
Here.
Ron Howard.
Here.
Okay, yeah. Without objection, I'll ask you to approve the minutes as a group. Is there any objection? I hear no objection. So we have the minutes of the meeting of September 10th, special meeting of September 17th, and the regular meeting of the September 23rd. Entertain a motion to approve these minutes.
I'll second.
Second question. Any question on the minutes? Hearing none. Moving to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Solid Waste Division report under tab 2.
Mr. Chairman, due to a death in the family from Melinda Williams, I'll be giving a report this evening. You do have a report that was sent out to the board in advance. The statistical report obviously shows we're trending down a little bit this month in terms of our revenue tonnage. It's not unusual. This is a seasonal type of job that we have. So usually in October, November, and sometimes into early December at least, we do see our tonnage taper down. The best news of all is that rainfall is down, and you can see that our leachate production is down significantly, from an all-time high in July. So we're happy to see that because that's now saving us a little bit of money. And our cover material is going up at an increasingly rate. The reason for that is because obviously we're still dealing with 2 cells, cell 8, as well as the top of 1 and 7. And also we have ceased accepting barrier material at the request of the DEP. That is a discussion that we'll be having with them on Monday. We did mix that barrier 1 to 3, and right now everything that's going into the cover material is virgin covered soil. And I'll explain that a little bit later when we get into our budget transfers.
Is that meaning they're going to make the brass?
Yeah, I'll report on that later. The customer aging report is pretty static. We have the 2 from Corbett that's still outstanding. We have received some correspondence from BJ Farms, and Miller Welding did receive, we did receive payment from them, and we do have a few that we are tracking down. We have had 1 meeting with a delinquent customer. We actually took that meeting at the Solid Waste Division 2 months ago, and since having that meeting, he has been very timely in his payments, and we'll be looking to have a similar meeting with Del Monte as well. Vertical expansion, an update on this. As of Monday of last week, we are now exclusively accepting waste into cells 1 through 7. We have ceased accepting waste into cell 8 for the time being. The plan is to finish the vertical lift on cells 1 through 7 before the bad weather sets in, and then close that portion of the landfill, and then only allow cell 8 to be used to accept material. Horizontal expansion, as I just reported, cell 8 is not in operation for the last 2 weeks. Equipment repairs, nothing significant or major there, other than the repair that was made to the AC electric poles, and we are working through our insurance agent to file a claim with the hauler's insurance to pay for the damages to that pole, and all as well as our overtime. We do have our John Deere loader on site. It's all in use, and you have an approval for you to take the old loader and take it out of service and deem that surplus. All of our surplus equipment would go to Gov Deals. You also have a resolution before you for that. And the new leachate tank project started September 30th. We do have a meeting coming up tomorrow with the vendor to determine their schedule and how well they're progressing toward our goal of meeting a March in-service date for that. That's pretty much the major report. Do you have any questions?
100 bales of agricultural mulch, would you say like 2 cents is what you're thinking?
2 to 3 cents a day per pound.
We pray that it's not much.
On the DCA, you have lower gas volume due to the amount of condensate in the lines. Is there, are there drip traps or anything in there?
Dewatering
Yes.
for the air pumps.
Or for the air?
Yeah, we have air in the pumps. We have some wells that we know are watered in. And we're evaluating as we go up cell number 8 as to whether we need to abandon a few of those wells.
It says lower gas volume due to the amount of condensate in the lines. It's discussed.
I don't know, Lynn, can you offer anything?
Yeah, he's talking about the header,
Oh, the header.
the header line, which we just repaired again today.
Okay.
We've had to move it around, it gets,
Yeah,
the land, you know, the
pump
landfill moves.
You have a pump in there, or is it?
No, not in that, not for the
No
header.
drip legs or drip chambers?
There would be no place to drip that to. Because I'd have to have a manhole to drain it into.
Now, we think we reached our apex on the 1 through 7, is that correct?
On
Yes?
gas production, yes.
Or-
And we're nowhere near installing anything for the new cells. Yeah.
Right. So, it would stand to reason that we should look for a reduced gas production over the next 10 years, or whatever.
Well, we peaked,
Yeah.
but we're still,
I understand. I think we went through that a couple of weeks ago. I forgot. Okay. Any other questions concerning solid waste manager's report? Hearing none, oh, sorry.
Did they get approval to move the pole? There were some poles that they had to move for leachate.
that's before you tonight,
I
because
thought
it's
it
over
was-
$10,000.
I thought it was prior.
Okay.
No, I sent that out in advance.
Any other questions? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. Hearing no objections, so ordered. We have the, I think we have the engineer's report. Sure.
Yes, good evening. I believe everyone has the October 21st engineer's report in their packet. The highlights on the report are that the basin to discharge of groundwater, item number 2, we completed and submitted the semi-annual basin discharge groundwater report to DEP on October 10th. We made some progress on the discharge of stormwater permitting. We revised the stormwater pollution prevention plan and drainage control plan, and revised, made revisions to that, and updated plans that were submitted to the authority on October 17th. The Cell 9 construction documents, draft copy was submitted, as noted, on September 27th. We received comments back from the authority on October 10th, and we subsequently made those revisions, incorporated them, plans and specs, and we did submit those, resubmit those to the authority for a final look.
They're all done?
They are completed, correct. On page 2, groundwater protection program plan, the 6 new monitoring wells have been installed, and they have been surveyed since this, over last month by Sickles and Associates. And those positions of those wells were put on the new site plan for the Cell 9 project. And lastly, as Debbie mentioned, leachate storage tank number 2. We are having a construction progress meeting tomorrow with TKT Construction. Any questions?
Yes. There's a recycling RFP that's, you received October 2nd last year, and it's still under review, is it?
Well,
What
they
is
reviewed
that?
it, we reviewed it, and really there wasn't anything that, of those proposals that our requirements, we were looking for something new.
Can you take it off his list, because it's been on every month?
Yeah, probably should.
Take it off, okay.
But the point is, the economy of scale, we don't have the economy of scale here to support any of those.
Yeah, it's been under review for
Yeah.
8 months at least, but
Yeah, so
there was a change order, number 1 was prepared for requested contractor's pollution liability insurance.
Yes,
They
that
didn't
was,
supply that?
they did not. It was not in the specifications, and it was, authority requested that that be added, that coverage be added.
And it'll be on the agenda for the November meeting.
Okay. Any more questions? Ms. Zier? Hearing none, without objection, order the report filed, received and filed. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Transfer of funds. Give us about 30 seconds on this.
Sure, we have a request for 4 transfers of funds. The first one is for employee benefits to employment and payroll services. The transfer here is being requested in order for our payroll processing fees to be paid for through the end of the year. We've done a full analysis of each of the line items to determine where we're going to be. Marketing and sales, this is obviously the largest item there. We're transferring $130,000 over to cover material. We've done a analysis of where we are as of September 30th, and anticipation of needing additional cover material, and only 100% cover material from now till the end of the year. We anticipate needing about $110,000 of that to build up and cover the tops of cell number 1 through 7, which we will then lay as an intermediate cover. We will then have to place clay intermediate cover on that before we determine whether or not it's feasible to put a rain tarp on there or just leave it with a clay cap until it settles and we finish the completion. Tire recycling, we received a bill for the New Jersey Economic Impact reports that we're required to file now with the DEP. This is something we've only done in the last 2 years. The price of that permit went up $7,000 from 2012, courtesy of the DEP.
No warning?
No, came in the mail.
No economic impact statement on it?
That's
Will that increase?
yeah, really. Could I do?
I've heard our economic, has an economic impact on us.
And we have asked them to go back and recalculate that. It is obviously based on tonnage, so our tonnage being more this year than it was last year does play into that formula, but this is an extremely expensive report, and it's all of 20 pages to submit. I can't imagine it takes the DEP $20,000 to review this report. And then tire recycling, we want to transfer $5,000 over to Topo Engineer. We've decided we need to not just resurvey the groundwater monitoring wells we put in, but we also need some slope verification, particularly on the north side slope for the DEP inspector, who has made an overture with his calibrated eyes that our slope appears to be steeper than our permit requires. So they're there doing some wetlands delineation. We just want to have them shoot the slopes for us as well.
You walk in survey this, right?
I tell you, these guys are good.
So if he thinks it's off, we have to pay because he thinks it's off?
Well,
Why doesn't he pay if he thinks it's off?
yeah, and we get into it.
No, wait a
That's
minute. What, are you a communist or something?
Until he tells me different, I think it's worth it. You know?
yeah.
We're gonna pay $5,000 because his eye seems to think it's.
We're just having it shot while they do the wetlands delineation, so it's not a total $5,000 just for that survey shoot. No. But we obviously need, it's in our best interest to have a documented proof as to what our side slope is. We're required to comply with the permit. We do have a GPS device in our BOMEG that we're having trouble getting the actual readings out of and onto an AutoCAD report so that we could actually show them when they're on site. That's our goal, to do that. But in the interim, they're gonna shoot it while they're out there doing the wells and the wetlands. Any questions?
Yeah, is there any questions?
Well, we have an indication that he has no permit. Not, we can't tell from all the penalties he issued in the past. It didn't seem like he had a permit.
Yes.
But now he says he's according to our permit for our slope permit.
Well, that was the
You have the right
order
permit.
made in August.
Does he have the right permit this time?
We'll find out on Monday when we meet.
Question. Could it be that we will put more landfill material on the top after we put this cover down?
Yes, absolutely.
So next year, we could have a settlement.
At this
5
point in
feet.
time, you know, DEP says you should operate one face at a time, okay? So obviously you have to operate 2 faces at a time when you're filling and creating the cushioning layer in the new cell, okay? So they really only want to see one working face at a time. So our goal is to reach the pinnacle of cells number 1 through 7, get the cover that's going to be appropriate for the permit for an intermediate resting period. Allow that to rest. It's going to take more than a year for it to settle. It's been settled maybe about a foot a year from our topo. We're going to let that go, operate cell number 8, put in cell number 9, allow that to come up to these cells. I'd say maybe 5, 6 years from now, you'll be at the top again. You will be at the top because you can go to 165 feet when all's said and done before you final close it, but we're not planning on final closing it. What we would have to do, though, is take that intermediate cover material and clay and take it off
Yeah, okay.
and then refill.
That's why I was getting that.
Yes.
We're not wasting it.
No, but you can't leave it bare.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I certainly understand that.
And with this inspector, he sees one piece of trash uncovered and he's all over it.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution number.
74.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any question on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? So moved. Okay. This is a resolution authorizing paying the bills. The bills were $622,010.97. There's normal checks. Electronic payments amounting to $138,498.39 for electronic payments. The bill, the amount of $95,500.71 be approved by manual check. Do we have an explanation on the manual check?
Sure, you've got 2 manual checks there. One is the debt service payment, the second interest payment for our gas to glass building, and the second is for our engineers' bills that were held at their last meeting.
Okay.
I also just, if I could notate that the check to the county of Salem is also in this bill list.
That's a 287.
Yes,
What was that for again?
that's the 5% of our
I got
unutilized surplus.
You said the T&M is from last month also?
Yeah, that was a bill that was held,
Is that the cell 9?
a portion of the salary.
Okay, where am I at? Okay, we, motion was made, you made a motion, it was seconded, right? Question, yes?
Yeah, one question. We use Elmer Times and the South Jersey Times, right?
Yes,
That's the Elmer Times is 750 and South Jersey Times 1684. Is it?
it's the same, I
Same
think,
as?
that's, yeah,
Not sure, by circulation.
there's a big cost difference between the two.
$7.50 opposed to
Well, I think the
$1,684.
papers they put out are a lot different.
That's by circulation?
Yeah.
Yeah, according to circulation, that's how you pay it, by circulation. Put in the inquiry, see what it costs. I used to put them in the Woodland Times in Camden. They were like pissed off that, it was like, Mother Carrier was like 300 hours, and Woodland Times was like $10, yeah. Didn't go over too well. Okay, move to second. Any more questions on the motion? Any question, move to second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, where are we at now? Oh, and we don't have our expended our budget
A revenue,
revenue.
I'll get that to you today.
Cool. Now's the
I'll
time.
email
we
it to
need.
everybody.
Okay, next item. Economic Development Division report. Jim Smith. Where's he at? Over here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Tab
Okay, you all have my written report. Part of the written report is, you also in your binder, you received the New Jersey Economic Opportunity Act of 2013, which the governor passed. I believe that should be in there. So I'm going to highlight and review that. We spoke to New Jersey EDA and put some of the highlights on it. So some of the plans have changed. They've done away with the BRAG and the BEEP incentive programs, the grant and programs. So you're down to 2 programs now. One is at Grow, New Jersey. They consolidated everything, and legislation expanded the area which an eligible facility can locate. Some of the different incentives are for port districts. Salem County qualifies for port districts on the east or the western side, and must be within 15 miles of a port. So we are within 15 miles of a port gateway. So we can have some incentives in there. The distressed municipalities, Salem City qualifies, and Penns Grove, and there's a few others in that area. So we will be able to have some incentives there too. The other one would be an urban transit hub, which I don't think we qualify for, not down here. It eliminates the $20 million investment, the minimum investment, and it replaces it with a minimum investment based on the cost per square foot. So the rehab in an industrial facility is $20 a square foot. The construction of a new industrial facility is $60 a square foot. Rehab of non-industrial is $40 a square foot. And construction of a new non-industrial facility would be $120 a square foot. Legislation eliminates existing minimum 100 jobs, and it replaces it with a sliding scale based on the type of business. So you have the different types, which is like a startup tech or manufacturing. New jobs would be 10, and retained would be 25. Target industries, which they're really going after, is transport, defense, energy, logistics, life science, health, and finance. New jobs would be 25, retained would be 35. It excludes warehousing and distribution, so which is kind of a shot at us here, so in Salem County. Any other businesses, the new jobs are 35 and retained 50. It still does establish the mega project, which is a capital investment of $20 million, 250 jobs, either created or retained, or a combination of, or a facility of which 1,000 jobs are created or retained. It also provides the tax credits, the different tax credits now, and I won't get into how that works. It's quite a kind of a different scale. Each new or retained job is $500 per job per year, and they're up to $5,000 per job per year for mega projects or urban transit. Then they have bonus credits, can go anywhere from $250 to $3,000 per job per year, and that's based on a variety of factors. So quite a bit of it has to, there's quite a bit that you have to look at on each of these, and that would be New Jersey Business Action Center and EDA, and the attorneys would have to look at how everything works. Total tax credits for each new full-time job, it's 100% of gross tax credits. A retained job is 50%. To receive any tax credits, the CEO must certify jobs are at risk of leaving the state or being eliminated. So there are quite a few restrictions. I won't get into too much of the ERGG, which is the Economic Redevelopment and Growth Grant. They expanded that program, they allocated tax credits for certain areas and increased size of incentive grants. Qualified, and then they went into residential, which is $250 million tax credits, up to $250 million tax credits for in an urban transit hub. Minimum project costs are $10 million. Application must be filed by 7/1/15. Received the certificate of occupancy by 7/28/15. And then they have the retail and commercial projects, which is a little different. Developer still has to put down 20% of the total project cost. Incentive grants up to 30% total project cost may be awarded. Terms are up to 20 years on that. Incentive grant payments will be made upon completion of the project. And some of the miscellaneous information, applications for incentives must be submitted, and it runs to 7/1/19, so Sunrise sets 7/1/19 on the new programs. Construction contracts are naturally still all prevailing wage in the state, with the one exception of that's maintenance workers. So they eliminated maintenance, that they don't have to pay prevailing wage on maintenance, which I believe was questionable at some time in the last contracts.
Like John.
Yeah, but we do have some incentives. I will be meeting with in New Jersey EDA and the New Jersey Business Action Center this week, just to find out a little bit more about it and how Sound City and, you know, and then port districts and everything will work. So we'll have a little bit more information for that, but that's what we pulled out of the information that we have now. So, any questions?
Any questions?
Good news is it's much more palatable for something like Sound County. You know, you can never hit the threshold of the $20 million investment, but it was very rare to be able to do that. Now,
Prior legislature was
we've got a
doing
fair
years in
shot.
Newark and Jersey.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's other ones, this GRZZ, it's Camden and a few others that really, we don't qualify. I think it was Camden, Newark, Passaic County, I believe.
City of Passaic.
Yeah, so.
Hearing no other questions, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Good job.
Resolution, what are we at? 76. Payment bills to economic development, bill 2,128, no wire bills or no manuals. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So ordered.
I did have a consultant put in there.
Or did it, 36? Part of economic development.
Yeah, it was right on the.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, but it's not here though.
Yeah,
It's in
Right
tab
before
3 at
the
the end.
right before the bill.
We're continuing to work on the economic development strategy with Jim and are actually in the drafting phase, we have everything else there, but draft for November 15th. And we are working on an existing manufacturing firm, which we like to keep confidential, that is looking to expand, adding new jobs and new investments in the county. And as Jim outlined here, I think with modifications under the new act, they're going to be helpful to Salem County when it passed. It was very difficult for us to get in the game because the thresholds were so high. So I think that's a step in the right direction with the new legislation. Any questions?
When the schedule for our strategic plan to be completed?
Draft on November 15th and for your review and hopefully have it wrapped up by the end of the year. That's the schedule.
Any questions? Hearing none, once, twice, 3 times. Without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. Hearing no objections, so ordered. Okay. Nursing home rebuild. Pardon?
Economic development.
Oh,
We didn't do those.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're nursing home, right?
No, you're good.
Behind tab 4, the bills total 0 for wire and 17,066.85. For checks for wire, 17,66.85. That's number
77.
Motion approved?
moved. For a second.
Second.
Move second. Any question on the motion? Move second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Standing committees. Okay, executive committee. Alloway Host Community, we might be down to cases with them. Where we are is they come through our gate, don't go over the scale. We don't have to build anything exotic. We have to have a, reader, a barcode reader. We'll put a couple containers there. People will dump into the existing, or those containers. We'll weigh them, this proposal. Obviously. We will weigh them, charge them accordingly by the ton. That's the hang-up. Everything else, they would have to monitor. They issue the decals, the barcode decals, and they would have to monitor the fact that people are not using them illegally. When I say illegally, you're not on the camera and pick up loaded trash and bring it back down here, which we know people do. The rub is they want 0 trash disposal fee. I don't see that. Yeah.
Where do they pay right now?
What do we, I didn't have that.
Is that in lieu of the host communities?
No. In addition, What was the number? You had a cheat sheet,
Yeah.
What was that?
It was,
3,000 tons.
yeah, 3,000 tons a year. is how
So,
much they get.
$50 a ton, the,
So they get pilot money and they get host community money,
right,
and now they don't wanna pay for the trash.
right,
On a county road that they don't have to maintain.
right. Well, I think that was their,
That was their
Yeah.
all-in request.
so it's up to us to, we're happy with all of it except that part of it.
What's the, and like you said, they could be bringing trash in and there would be no.
We don't care.
So what's the draw of them to not go over the scale? What is that? What's some?
Well, no, we're going to go over the scale, but see, the thing is, a guy comes in with a trash bag in his car, you gotta weigh that and weigh it out, weigh 30 pounds. That was crazy. So we go over here, they dump it in the dumpster, then we weigh the dumpster once a week.
Okay, so it's not, they're not going to scale. You're just proposing, we just weigh the dumpster and you call it a day, right?
Right, well, but we take that dumpster and weigh it before we dump
Of course,
it.
if I'm out of the way, I say, well, how do I know who's putting stuff in my dumpster?
Well, they have to control the barcodes,
Yeah,
whoever they give them to.
that's right. And also,
If they give them to waste management,
now they can have a man out there, or woman, or whoever they want, to watch down then, which I would tend to do if I was on the committee. What do you call it, camera? Smartest thing would be put a camera. And them
Yeah, but
cameras.
if they're proposing not to pay for the trash, they don't care what gets thrown.
Well, hello, then everybody be coming. I'm from Alloway. My grandmother's from Alloway.
Well, obviously, they made less money the last few years where tonnage was down. Now
Right.
they're making more than they were.
Oh, by the way,
Years ago.
hold on, another provision was that their host community would go up by the
Yeah,
consumer price index, whatever.
Annual.
And it was, right now,
Our income doesn't go up by the consumer
No.
price index.
well, they say, yeah, it does, because we keep increasing the fees, which we have not in 7 years, just this past year. But that, I think, obviously, when you're negotiating, you throw everything in there. So I think it's up to us to say no on the 2 items, the rest, yeah, see.
well, the
yeah, I
concept
mean,
is good, they have to figure out how you're gonna pay for it, and it's not gonna be free.
Well, we're not paying anything.
Well, you're gonna be paying for the trash, is it, on their proposal?
Oh, yeah, their proposal. Oh, yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, it's neutral for us.
It's a regular municipal rate, I would imagine.
Right. It's neutral for us, and it's a great enhancement for them because they do away with their whole.
I mean, they're closing their center, so they obviously don't have that cost, right?
Right. I mean, they have 2 or 3 people over there hauling back and forth, I mean, hauling down the street, all that is all gone. So it's, to me, that's a win-win for everybody.
No Saturday, no extra day involved.
Well,
right?
we would increase Saturday hours, but we would increase it for everyone. In other words, every citizen of the county would enjoy that extra, was it 3 hours? What was it?
It's, no, Tuesday and Thursday evenings, we would increase.
I understand.
Saturday hours would stay the
Oh,
same,
I'm sorry,
and
I'm
no
sorry.
Sundays.
So, yeah, that's the part they want.
No
Yeah, right, yeah.
So we're
They're
increasing
not
how many
100%
hours?
sold there, yeah, they're not 100% sold on
How
Sunday.
many additional hours we're gonna put in?
6.
6 additional hours, how many people we have to work?
2
2 people that have to work
Now, that would,
or hour?
hours.
Of the hour cost.
but that
And they
would,
wanted their own facility on our property, it was theirs.
So to accommodate them, we have to let everybody in for those, obviously. Might as well, but.
which is a incentive for, because it is short hours, I know people who work for me, they say they can't get down there and all that, so.
We should split the difference and give them, instead of 2 days, 1 day.
We have a Wednesday, Saturday right now, and to be honest with you, we could benefit from having one more day at the convenience center. It's,
Yeah, our revenue, no doubt,
Pretty-
would go up a bit, I would think.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, the question is the fees. The fee's gotta be the municipal rate.
yeah, they looked at other host community benefits, and, you know, if you look around other host community benefit agreements in the state, you'll see that there's some who do offer free trash disposal, but they do not have a pilot of $60,000 or anywhere near that. So you know, there was a trade-off, presumably when this host community benefit agreement was struck, to pay them a pile of $60,000, irregardless of if the facility took 1 ton of trash or no ton of trash, you know, back in the day when it was there. And, you know, they see these other clauses and other agreements, and they're like, hey, we want that too. And it's, you know, fair game, I guess, for them to put on the
Yeah.
table, but
Then we say, well, okay, that's a good deal, no pile. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, I was involved in a municipality, we got no pile or anything, but we got free trash, which was better than a pile, you know? And it so happened, the facility right in the middle of town, so we're parking our trash.
So what are you going back to them with?
I think that they gotta pay the
We'll give
full
them the
rate,
hours.
normal rate.
We'll give them the hours.
Now,
Yeah.
who's buying the barcode readers and the cards and all
They should
that?
pay for that.
Are they, that's taken out of the host community fee, I would imagine,
No, we would pay for that,
and remove it from the host community fee?
and we're talking a few $100,
They're gonna have
and
to
we're not
issue it.
talking $1 million here, you know what I mean?
they're gonna have to show.
I just bought a setup for $400, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
they're,
once you lose it though, their people can't come in. Once the reader is down, so you need another one, you need a spare.
oh, yeah, I mean, those things are 100 some bucks.
Or not manual, you're not gonna have a manual, are you?
Well, you have one on a post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were going like,
Well,
yeah,
whatever.
they have the manual, and
The same, but they would issue the stickers, it'd be up to them. And police it, whatever, they set the rules.
now you're not gonna have to check license plates and registrations and all that.
And I suggested.
If they have a sticker, they're legal by ours. Right now.
And it's up to them to police it, because we don't know who they are. And on top of that, I suggest to them that they have a camera. $500, you can get a heck of a camera set up, and have it shine right, you know, aim at the license plate, aim at the car.
So I have the sticker, I'm an LA resident, I have a sticker with a barcode on it. And I attach it to what, my license or whatever, I just show it when I come in?
No, no, you
No,
have it
we
on the
have a
window.
vehicle.
Side window.
Yeah, we discussed this with them, we don't want Pittsburgh's model where you can move it from vehicle to vehicle.
So they would only have,
Has
they
to be
have
on
one
the
vehicle
vehicle,
designated as
Which is
their.
tagged to the license plate. Right now, they do move them.
And they'll be able to go through and monitor when people move out of the town to pull that list off.
Well, it seems to
That's what we're gonna
me
need to do.
That'd be up to them.
that they would,
though.
the computer would say, number 995 is no longer valid. Goes through the gate,
You know, they just have to
beep,
monitor
beep,
that.
beep, beep. No,
You buy a new car, you come in to get a new sticker, what happened to the old car where it's the old sticker? It's taken off there.
not even, they just retired it. Take it off the,
So you got a designated car with your sticker, designated vehicle.
now their problem is, now, I'm familiar with the problem
Had
elsewhere.
some issues.
You have little contractors, and little drywall contractors bring some other stuff in. That's their problem, not our problem. If we were paying, if it was free dumping, you'd be having people come from China over here dumping, yeah? That's their problem.
They acknowledge they probably have some lax enforcement issues now.
I know,
Tell them to pay for their trash,
Right.
whatever they want to do, pay for the barcode, whatever that might cost, and we'll extend the hours, that
yeah,
all.
that's,
Yeah, anything beyond that, you take it off the host community fee or the
yeah,
pilot.
sure, do anything you want, which, in effect, that's the same, I mean, it's a public, yeah, whatever. So, yeah, we'll write that up, not to vote on, it's a matter of get the paper before us, work it out, put it before us, and we decide, you know. And by the way, and also, they're kicking about, there's a little discrepancy in the tonnage for the year.
They asked us to re-audit the tonnage again for the year.
The last year,
Given where
remember,
we were last
we
year.
owed them some money, and so they're, I don't know, give them a short up. Oh, whatever. So that's that. Any further questions? Hearing none, board report filed. So ordered. Okay, next. Personnel committee. Well, hold on. Let me just back up on the executive committee. Me and Ron met with the executive committee on Debbie's pay for this existing year and future year. If you recall, beginning of last year, we held up based on the criteria was the quality of the audit. Remember, that was what we were worried about. So now that the audit is complete and filed and approved by the state, we can get together and decide, make a recommendation on this year and obviously the ensuing year. That's why we held up the pay decision past when everybody else was considered.
So, just to be clear, I'm a little slow sometimes, all right? What we're talking about is retroactive, we're talking about past year.
Right, exactly. If you recall, we considered pays in March, was that it?
They're effective January, we went in December.
Did we? I thought it was end of the year when we finally,
It was,
Well,
yeah,
I
it
thought
was
it was-
December when it was finally approved.
no,
Time flying when you,
yeah, I hear you, yeah, I
So
hear
we're
you.
talking about two numbers, one for 2013.
Right.
and one for 2014.
Yeah.
And is this a multi-year deal that we have here, or what is it? Is it year to year? Or position, is a year to year position?
No, contract,
And it's a multi-year contract?
yes.
And how many years is that?
I think it was 3 or 4 years, wasn't it?
Right.
And where are we in that 3 or 4 years?
We're about right in the middle of it, I think. Yeah. But the criteria, when we laid it out last year, was, that's probably, you don't
I
remember.
remember that, I
You
remember
were-
that distinctly, yes.
Yeah,
See how the audit went. Yeah.
We talked about it, and the audit, we had bad audits, which we know, and you remember, yeah, you were here, because we went to the freeholders, and there you go, I remember, get my dates straight. And we said, our audit, we had it fairly well cleaned up the year before, but not perfect. And our audit, I don't want to say it's perfect, it's close to perfect you're gonna get.
You and Mr. Vanderslice had a discussion about
Yeah,
that.
and I'm gonna have another discussion with
Okay.
him. Believe me, I didn't forget that discussion. I might not be too fast on the draw, but I do remember certain things. I definitely will bring it up, because I just happen to have a copy of the county audit.
not so good, is it?
We'll talk about that later. But anyway, that's it. So, within the next 2 weeks, or before the next meeting, we'll get together and make a recommendation and see what y'all folks want to talk about.
Now, when you're talking about the percentage of increase on pay, I want to talk about what she does for the authority compared to other authorities in the state of New Jersey. She's,
Talk about whatever you want.
all right, well, she's.
We,
quite
by the
a bit
way, we have,
of-
we got other authorities, improvement authorities, and also other types of authorities, sewer authority, what have you. We have the good cross-section, smaller counties and also municipalities. So we got a good, and we'll give you all that.
So we're talking percentage for the past, but we gotta bring this position up to where it needs to be, not only for her, but for whoever comes on in the years to come, because you gotta be competitive these other years. Now, obviously, if somebody's not a proven person when you hire them, you're not gonna pay them as much, but what Debbie's been through the last 3 years is pretty close to hell. With the nursing home and the mess that was here with the books and, I mean, just across the board, and she's did an excellent job,
We
wonderful job.
got it cleaned up.
And
Yeah.
we avoided losing a lot of money at the nursing home, because I remember when the county first was kicking it around, they were talking a small amount of money that they were gonna sell it for, and after you guys fixed it up, got everything in order, you got, and did a good sales pitch, you got a nice number for that to say, didn't save the day all the way, but it was amazing. And
We lucked out.
she should be,
By the way, Haven County selling theirs, right? I hear our buddies are in the run.
In this thing,
do we get a commission for giving them the idea?
yeah.
I don't know, I gave them a lot of free consulting services and told them,
Yeah.
bring me on, they never did.
I meant to ask you
They
about
picked my
that.
brain, whatever's left of it. But they,
Well, the model that we did, more than one county used that model.
yeah, Cumberland, I think, followed us, and there's not too many more left, I think.
We're down to, there's only a couple left. Mercer still got one, right?
No, Mercer actually was
Mercer's
before.
Yeah,
us.
somebody up here has got one.
Uh,
But anyway, that's,
But
let's move on.
I don't see a whole lot of government ownership of nursing homes in the future.
John also wanted to talk about extending her contract to,
That'll be on the agenda, obviously. Yeah. Okay, so that's the executive committee report. Personnel committee, okay, there we go.
Oh, we, met, and we, came up with final, candidate for the landfill supervision. I'll let Debbie fill you in on that.
Sure, we had,
Well, why don't we wait and do that in the executive session, that might be appropriate.
Staff initiatives, we're talking about getting some, winter interns again. That would be 4, 5, 6 altogether. 4 for, solid waste, 1 for economic, 1 for, administration. Talk about our dental plan. Debbie, you want to fill in on that?
sure, we received communication on the 18th of this month that the county had terminated their Horizon Dental Plan effective October 1st. And we are a subgroup.
That was one day's notice.
No, that was 18 days late notice.
Oh, okay.
That,
Did you aware of it?
we were a subgroup of the county plan. And I can honestly say Horizon did the right thing because they realized they were not in conformance with the state laws that require notification prior to termination of the plan, and agreed to keep us on the existing plan with the existing benefit structure until November 1st, and gave us the option to roll into what would be the county's plan for Aetna November 1st. We've gone back to Horizon and have asked them to allow us to remain on that plan till January 1st of 2014, since we're a calendar year with all of our other benefits, to determine if the Aetna plan is the most viable for us. And we've also done a quick, and I say very quick, disruption study to determine who is in network and who is out of network. And out of the 1/3 of the employees that have filed a response as of today, 100% of that 1/3 is disrupted. They will not have coverage in network with this plan. Now, that's not to say Aetna hasn't said that they will be happy to court more dentists in this area, so that there isn't, future disruption. I'd like to be able to make a recommendation and say, here's what we need to do November 1st. The only recommendation I'm going to make at this point in time is that we basically do our due diligence and look at all of the other plans. Horizon is still a viable choice. Aetna, Delta Dental, state health benefits, we did look at them before. It's pretty costly, probably a richer program than we'd like to have, but we'd like to come back to this board by November and make a recommendation for you.
well, I recommend that we get away from anything that's contact with the county. That Mickey Mouse group is screwing us over every time. I mean, everything we do, the computers, every step we take, 18 days after they discontinue it, they call us up and tell us that, or did the insurance company tell us?
No, their broker called us.
Their broker, not them. I mean, I can't believe how inept.
Explain it to me again. What happened? Okay, you got a call,
On the
or,
18th of October, from the county broker, the health insurance broker, advising us that the county's plan had terminated October 1st.
so our people technically didn't have coverage for 18 days.
However, they realized that, and they extended the coverage through November 1st. So there's been no disruption.
I understand.
But as of this moment in time, November 1st is our due.
So there was a technical breach perhaps, and,
They're required to give 60 days notice.
right, okay.
Cancellation.
So now, I've been through changing health plans a lot of times in my life. The biggest problem with them is seeing who's in their network. So what you're telling me is our present employees, this plan doesn't have any of the dentists in their network.
1/3 of the people that responded as of today, I asked
Oh, I
100% to
see.
respond, but 1/3 of them have responded.
But not,
Out of everybody who responded, everybody's got a disruption.
there's dentists in the plan.
Correct.
Okay. I don't understand disruption, but I understand it. Okay. So the question is, we got to see,
And we don't have read information yet
I
either.
understand that.
So,
And November 1st is in a couple days.
Well, we got till January.
so this is still, in work.
So what we have to do is determine, one, rates from these different people, and also a list of dentists that they have contracts with.
So we do.
And then we look at our people and see who matches up with. So the county didn't have that problem? They must have, if we had it, they must have it.
I
Right,
don't
people
know if they
have,
did a disruption study, I'm not
not
sure.
having dentists in the program?
They're working, they're according, like you said, they're according to dentists, and last I heard, they had whatever, there's a particular dentist that everybody uses that has agreed, and they're just one, they have two of them actually, and they're both, one is on board and one is signing up. So it's
Mhm.
2 dentists?
two particular dentist businesses that are very popular in the county.
Oh, so they're being added to the.
Right, they are being added to the program. There is a third that they're having discussions with.
So that'll be,
Yeah, we gotta make our decision soon.
yeah, but I understand, we got to, but whatever. All right,
Then
so
they
we
won't-
don't have to,
Excuse me, gentlemen. Are they willing to extend us until we get this straightened out, or?
generally.
As of the minute I walked in here, November 1st was still our date. However, we've made that request of them and they said they are entertaining. I expect to hear by tomorrow. She was out yesterday.
So absence of reply from them, we're out of coverage.
Absence of reply from them, we either stick with Horizon and have to ask for, which we've already done, rates to stick with Horizon in the current
Okay.
plan, or go to Aetna. Those are the only 2 options. In which case I would
Unless,
get a quick
yeah,
set of information out to the board.
So if you stay with Horizon, you're with them until January 1st.
Yes, but the county would like us, the county's plan would like us to roll November 1st.
We gotta get away from that.
whatever. So we don't need to take any action.
No, I
at
don't
this
have
moment.
nothing
No
to
action we
take
could
action on.
Okay, all right. So personnel committee, any other questions of personnel committee? Hearing none, I'll, without objection,
So-
or,
Yeah,
go ahead.
down in 5, it makes it sound like the personnel committee discussed the salary wage increases, and that's not the case.
Oh, no, I said, hold on, I said, hold on back to the executive committee. That's what I said.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
in
you're
the
talking about the
agenda,
whole-
it's in the agenda, and it looks like it's on the agenda for that meeting, and it was not, or it was on the agenda but not discussed.
Yeah, I said it would be available for today's meeting for consideration. Whether we take action on it tonight or not is up to you.
Oh, you mean,
You're talking about for the rest of the employees.
You know, 5C.
I'm lost. What was that?
He's saying numbers, if you look at, on the employees' compensation, it says that, C, 2014 wage increase recommendations
the-
expected for October
The
28th.
executive director report.
Yeah, it's in the personnel report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you look on number 5,
Okay,
C.
okay. I'm sorry, I'm up here and you're down there. Okay, so that, what are we gonna do with that?
Have all the reform reviews been done? too?
There's, yeah, can we talk about it when we get ready to discuss it? Yes.
How does
Because I
we-
think we should discuss it separately.
Okay. Solid waste, committee, Steve Burrows.
Yes, we had a little bit of good luck, even though it don't sound like good luck. Mr. Hanson gave us another violation for dust, but he accidentally put his cell phone number on it.
Oh, that was terrible.
And we've been trying to get together with him for 3 months now, him and his boss. So Debbie called him up and he was surprised to hear from her, and she tried to explain to him a few things about how we've been asking to speak to him. Well, you gotta talk to my boss. He goes, well, I've been trying to speak to him too, and he's not getting back to us, so hopefully, well, we got the meeting coming up, so hopefully that, he made a mistake to like leave his number, and now we're gonna actually have a meeting and hopefully straighten out all this lunacy that's happening about the permit.
What kind of dust we talking about?
Just
On
dust,
the
dirt
road.
on the road.
When they're coming in and out,
Uh,
we water it down
But
and
that was at the meeting, the original meeting, original visit.
I think
This was the August visit.
August.
This was a follow-up visit.
Oh, okay. So it was a warning, right? It wasn't
It was a
a,
warning.
Yes. Okay, and then we've got, 2 work trucks on the state contractor complete. We have them, and they're using them. The Dixie chopper's complete, John Deere loader's complete. Surplus, we received some payments on some of the stuff we sold in surplus.
Who do we sell the surplus to?
Gov deals,
On
Do
an
you have a
auction.
report on
Goes
that?
online auction.
Do we have a
Yeah.
report on that?
Out of everything that we have placed up for auction that you declared surplus at the end of last year, we still have two pieces of equipment, the Aztec screener that has not sold, but it's back up online. This is the one that somebody said they would give us $500,000 for and never sent the check. So it's back up with no reserve now. And then we also have some additional surplus items that we requested to be sold.
How much?
We anticipate about 110,000, we've received 107 as of now. Then we've got those two other pieces of equipment yet to auction off.
So today we've received 107. So,
And that's after their fee, they get like a 5% fee.
And then the leachate tank, how are we doing today?
We'll let you know after tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we just had a
Yes.
meeting with him and that didn't work out, so we're in communication with him and we're trying to move that forward.
okay. Any questions of the landfill committee? Hearing none without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. So we're going to hear another. So innovation and technology.
Okay, the number one on here, the network and PCN support. I have to tell you that initially I was not all excited about PCN support, but I think it's gone very well. Obviously things have come up and they've resolved those issues. And quite frankly, it's been, I think, real good since we've been raising the county. And they have done what they said they're going to do. So pretty happy about that. I'm going to skip number 2 because I'm going to come back to that. Number 3, Salem Community College. We may be looking at the bandwidth may or may not be large enough. If so, if not, they will provide us additional bandwidth. One of the things, the backup generator for the glass place is a possibility when we put our new building over there. Merchant services, fine. PC scale program working. Fortis, fine. Edmonds, fine. Everything is very, very much improved since we're not dealing, the county had limited resources, obviously, to deal with us, but this outfit has done, and it really hadn't run up any additional cost at this point.
All within contract.
I kept waiting for stuff to be outside of the contract, but it doesn't appear it has. But I do want to go over number 2. This is something we bounced this ball back and forth. March 31st, the county advised us as of March 31st, they would not, they were terminating us, as I understand it, terminating us from, and they've sent us a bill a couple times because since then they've been providing us with internet service, and our equipment was still where it was, and they've sent us a bill, and I asked you about paying that, and your response, I believe, was I couldn't pay it without a bill. But I guess that's been interpreted, it cannot be paid without a contract. All right? So subsequently, they've sent us a contract so that you could have the ability to pay them for that. So now we have a freeholder here, and this is back and forth, kicking the ball back and forth. It's August 30, and I asked the same question, are they going to cut us off come January 3rd? Because we aren't going to be ready on April 1, we were not going to be functional. So we've used some part of their service, even if they didn't come service anything. We're obviously using internet, the antenna, everything was still in place and working during this transition period. So even if we don't owe them $800 a month, we must owe them something, and that this agreement that they're asking us to sign looks like it's going to be for a full year, which we have no parts of because we don't want to be involved in the year, we have our own service. But between April 1 and August 30th, there needs to be something that we can come to an agreement. Do we owe them money? We use their services.
I've been trying to get clarification on this with Jessica, because she's the one who sent the agreement over to us. So we played a little phone tag about what the nature of the shared service agreement was, what the terms are, where the dollar value came from. She's supposed to be getting that information to me. I will remind you that that equipment is our equipment that was in their possession. So the antenna, the server, was our equipment. They did not provide any help desk requests. They did not provide any help desk support. But they left everything in place. That was it.
So let's get understanding. Maybe it's not worth $800, maybe it's worth a couple $100, but to just give it back to them and you give it back to us, it's just.
I've not given it back to them. I've just said, Jessica, I need to understand where this is coming from. In fact, it came
I think it can't, because they thinking that, you know, we were saying we can't pay without a bill.
Let me predict what's
Got it.
gonna happen. You know, about 2 months ago, we sat here and spent an hour and a half over a guy who owes $200, okay? This is
Less
what,
than
and this is what this is gonna turn into. It's gonna be months of bullshit over two people get in the room and say, like, let's settle this up.
Thank you, let's do that.
But there is one caveat that's not been said, that they breached their contract, was they were supposed to notify us,
Yes, sir.
give us time to turn it around, and we heard from, not even from the county that they were cutting us off, which is, again, working with Mickey Mouse Company.
No, I think we had a notice, I've seen the notice, that indicating as of January 31st, they were no longer, after January 31st, March 31st, they were no longer going to support.
That was, yeah, after our request for an extension, absolutely.
And they did not, right?
They did not
Support
respond,
us.
but they left everything.
Oh, they
in
didn't
place.
respond even.
They didn't do any help desk support,
No,
no.
but did they respond?
Yes,
Right.
Everett came back and said, no, we're not extending
Oh,
beyond March 31st.
okay.
Hence, we contracted with PCN April 1st to move forward and handle all the help desk requests.
Which was standing on your
So-
head to perform that, because
When
it's
we-
not a
Well-
simple thing.
When we had a help desk request before, we would pick up the phone, call Ryan or Ellen, or Dennis, who was here. After April 1st, we picked up the phone and called PCN, who then got the logistics of trying to figure out what was going on.
So, to get this thing to the conclusion, Mr. Laurie, who can we talk to that can make that decision? And Debbie, you and that person get together, get this thing done. This is silly. We're in end of October, and we're kicking this back and forth.
True, can I say anything?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
To get permission, Katie said she's going to be talking to you or talk to you about it. She would be the one, got an email today from her saying she was gonna reach out to you to, you know,
Okay.
to get this settled. You and her, between the two of you, you'll have it settled. I have all the faith in the world in you and all the faith in the world in Katie.
Make sure Katie knows that that's the opinion of the freeholders, that she's in charge.
The Mickey Mouse relationship.
All right, so hopefully, we won't be spending.
I'll give
half
Katie a
of
call
the
tomorrow
night
morning. As I said, Jessica and I were just going back and forth.
She's
to
the one,
Katie
25
or her.
hours.
You can tell me, you talk to me, and way to go.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so where are we at? I'm lost completely.
That's it.
Okay, innovation, okay, you all through? Okay, questions? Perfect. Without, no other questions, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. There are no objections, so ordered. Alternative and Renewable Energy Committee. What if you, just had a meeting 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, we just met and talked about some projects. I don't have my. Talked about some solar projects that really aren't working out, and the possibility of using some other cogen operations. But I think we have to wait until more information comes through. Is that about it?
Correct.
I would say that one of the questions is, what's the viability of the 2 or 3 different things that are out there, and come to the conclusion that it's worth wasting our time with or not. And
Yeah, right now it doesn't look like it is, but
Yeah.
things may change.
my opinion of it, before and first glance here, there's not much there, but let's get to the bottom of it and say, hey, it's worth our effort to, stay in the game, or just put them off balls and see what the rule. I mean, these things change by the year. The state's in it, the state's out of it, the federal government's in it, the federal government. Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. Hearing no objections, so ordered. Okay. Now we come to the real meat of the meeting. Okay. Resolution introducing solid waste division budget.
Contract report. Okay.
Oh, so, I'm sorry. Oh, good,
Promise I'll be quick. Nursing home, just a couple notations. Thank you to the county. We are receiving our payments now before the bills are due to the state for the retiree health benefits. We also are working on a interesting interesting notice, unclaimed insurance check made out to the Salem County Nursing Home Facility in the amount of $116. So we received notice of that unclaimed, unprocessed check, and we're working on that. We will see when we get it. There obviously would be a patient's
The
name
check that we
attached
sent
to
out?
it. No,
We
no.
received.
It was something that would have come to an insurance, from an insurance company to the Improvement Authority, not processed and unclaimed.
So there's a check lying around under the desk somewhere.
No, we've been through everything. There's no check here.
When did that?
It was in the paper as an unclaimed property.
Oh,
so-
geez, that could be 100 years ago.
Could be
That's probably 7 years ago.
It's still out there with our name on
Whatever.
it. We still have the Medicaid adjustment. I'm trying to work on getting that done before the end of this year. No communication from Golden on that. Leachate tank, we've already discussed that. Capital equipment purchases for 13 are complete. Cell number 9 bid documents are here, finalized and ready to go. Operations and maintenance manual and the safety manual update is underway. Actually, Lynn reported that the safety manual has been updated for compliance purposes and is already back to us for our own individual review. And the operations and maintenance manual is on its second draft internal before it gets a vetting through the DEP. Regulatory-wise, yes, Mr. Hanson and I have been in communication with each other. It was a delightful conversation that he and I had. And then I spoke to his supervisor, who I was told to schedule the meeting with. And his supervisor was a little apologetic for how long it's taken us to get a response to our letter. He stated that they pretty much didn't exactly know how to respond to the letter because they realized that they were in error with reading and interpreting the permit. So we made it very clear that we want a good working relationship with our inspector, that our goal is to be compliant and fulfill the intent of the permits. And that's why we need to be on site looking at the same things with the same set of eyes. And that if there's a practice that has been underway at this facility since 1988, when we opened the facility, that's not been a problem with prior inspectors, we're happy to evaluate whether it makes sense to make a change now because of one inspector's opinion. So they are being down at 10 o'clock on Monday at the facility. We will take as long as we need to work with these guys, okay? He knows he's got a little bit of an interesting inspector that he's dealing with, is the way he put it.
You gonna
Will they
film
sign
that?
in? Will
Yes,
they
they
sign
will
it?
absolutely sign in.
Can you
And they
film
will be
it?
escorted.
Can you film it?
No.
Say this again. Repeat
He
that.
understands that he has an interesting inspector that we're dealing with. In fact,
Who said that?
his supervisor.
Okay, interesting.
In fact, he asked if this was their first dealings with Mr. Hanson, and I said yes. His reputation preceded him, and quite frankly, I was very, very disappointed in the way he handled our first inspection.
You tell me when sign in?
Yep.
What do you say about that?
That's not their protocol. Their protocol is to sign in, but they do not have to be escorted. I said, I don't care if he's escorted, he has to sign in.
Sure.
So-
He could get killed out there, we never know. Well, hold on.
A couple other things. Oh, boy, oh, boy. We are still working with the DEP on the escrow agreement for the post-closure plan. Biennial inspection, we did receive a letter from County Council in regards to 2 parcels of property. There is a memo in the packet for us to evaluate. I'm going to show you where those parcels are. We don't really have an answer on the biennial inspection. They offered to have a change of ownership and allow Salem County Improvement Authority to take control of those properties over at Gateway. Pasco Sykes Foundation Economic Initiative is actually moving forward now. They have brought on board the nonprofit financing fund to do the design and implementation stage for a regional destination effort for all of Western Atlantic, Cumberland, Gloucester, and Salem counties. It looks like it's going to be about a year's worth of work that is still ahead of them before this initiative fully gets launched. And I'll be happy to give you guys monthly updates on it as the design works its way out.
Are you part of that?
Yes.
They have 7 meetings. God bless you.
Well, we've agreed only to a monthly meeting. They're gonna have to do their work in between. So, regional sewer project, no action since the last meeting. The engineers are still working with the DEP to set up a discussion about the freshwater wetlands. We talked about the technology. Talked about the health benefits brokers on the dental plan. What else here? Audit, no actions on audit items. Suffice to say, the NJDEP escrow audit that is due October 31st of each year is complete, and it's on its way up to the state. We've had no tonnage variation since last year on that report. And the budgets are ready for introduction. Human Resources will be discussing later the candidates for the landfill supervisor position. We vetted that through, and I have a final recommendation for you. There is an upcoming meeting for the Improvement Authority Associations in November, and our website is fully compliant. We just got done doing an audit of our website because it's required that we certify that when we send in the budgets down. We spent 19 hours fulfilling 4 open requests totaling almost 600 pages. We do have one pending, and there's a list of scheduled and tentative meeting dates there for you. Have any questions?
19 hours?
19 hours, that was
Excuse me a
in
minute.
there.
You know, this is gonna be a while. Why don't we let Lynn and the engineer go home? An objection? I don't think we're gonna be here.
You need me, John?
Something
The
like
meter's running, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think, any objection?
that. Jim?
Right?
You want Jim?
Oh, Jim, yeah, you got to, Jim.
Thank you.
Normally it'd be 20 minutes here, Mike.
Debbie, the properties that you were talking about that the county wanted, is that the one where the environmental study is supposed to be done?
Yeah, there's one small parcel over here that I'll show you.
Want me to show you?
Yeah, that'll be fine. That has the pesticide contamination on it, about 2 acres.
And that's late,
size.
that study's late, is there any penalties you want to be involved if we take that?
They're, okay, they're in this area here, this is the basin, and then there's a little piece of ground, I think
There's a bigger map in the
there's a
packet.
bigger map in your, it's highlighted in there.
Yeah.
And one is a contaminated site, and then the
Uh,
other is
so-
a basin.
The other
Correct
is
me
the
if I'm wrong. There's 2 parcels there, one of them is contaminated. The county's obligated to do every other year a
drainage
study,
certification.
what they call it, to see if it's still contaminated or not. Maybe it is.
And that state's passed.
Okay, when was that supposed to be done?
It's due this year. We do it in April.
December 31st. But the point is, you gotta do it a certain time of year, right, or something?
You have to do it before the ground freezes,
Right.
because you have to evaluate off-site
So it has to
contamination.
be done like tomorrow. Okay, the county was gonna do it, wasn't gonna do it, so we don't know where it is.
So then we can't take that unless we get settled,
Well-
or find out if there's a
Well,
fine.
first of all,
Penalty.
hold on a second. So it was, the county council said they ought to give it to us or sell it to us or whatever, transfer it to us, okay, or put it up for auction.
We can't put a problem.
I have a fit of laughter. Now, who's gonna buy a contaminated piece of land? First of all, I don't think, I'll ask our attorney, I don't think you'd sell it if you wanted to. right?
Well, you have fun trying to sell it, I mean, you can sell anything.
I said it'd be like, you put on, Letterman, at night.
You find a buyer.
Okay, that's one. And the other parcel was part of the basin for a pumping station, so if you sold that, you couldn't expand the park. Am I correct?
Yeah, there's some
There's some
other.
complications in
there's
selling the basin,
complications
because it's a
in doing
common
it.
area.
With a third party.
That's my point.
Yes,
That's my point.
complications.
Because part of the, it's for a pumping station. Did I understand it right? Am I wrong in that, or?
Yeah, it's
am I-
for future pumping station area, and then the basin is obviously the
So
stormwater.
we sold we sold the contaminated one, I'd say, good. Let's see, that's a little waste of time. And the other one, if you sold that,
Cut your legs off.
well, but no one could use it anyway because of its location.
Yeah, there's some other underlying things that it's probably a part of the report that you can read there.
Yeah,
Right.
there are some, as we understand it with the DEP report, there's also some unfinished work relative to that basin.
Really.
Yes.
That is required by the permit, that didn't necessarily have a specific timeline to be done, but it has to be done.
Yeah.
And I would presume that it would be incumbent upon the current owners to finish that before any sale would occur.
Yeah.
Because failure to do so could complicate the development of 2 of the parcels of land that abut the
Right,
basin.
that's one point.
So the
So-
first thing is you gotta tell the county to get their money back from the person that researched it, the attorney, and say that he didn't know what he was talking about.
Well, it's only been presented to us as to whether we want to assume ownership of the parcels.
Which,
I mean, the answer is
Yes,
either yes or
yeah.
I'm talking
no.
about the part where he said to auction it off.
Well, it's not our property to auction.
Oh.
I mean, I think it's our,
Now, these inspections are always done by the authority, and it's just this inspection period that you've turned it over to the
The
county?
county is always
We
reimbursed.
just
We
always
managed it,
notify.
the county
We did.
reimburses. It's always $100,000 a year. Hold on, go to,
No,
Sorry.
with your permission, John.
yeah.
Just, would you just contact Mr. Mulligan and let him know you're not interested in buying the piece of property? That's all you have to do.
Well, again, we'll have to vote on it.
The problem is,
I mean,
yeah, and you wanna look at the underlying issue
We have to
of
analyze that.
auctioning it to a third party. There's some real underlying
Well, that's-
issues
that's-
with
That's why
DEP
it's in.
and the property owners in there and the developer, so.
As Debbie said,
mhm.
the question is, do you want to buy it? It's not, there's no other question,
Yeah.
and your answer would be no.
Yeah,
I mean, I would be the first
we
one
got
to be in
interest
line
in
telling you
that
that's the right
property.
answer.
We gotta protect our interests.
well, that's separate. I don't know that we do it. The question is, do we want to buy it? We gotta answer that. And we gotta vote on that, take it under advisement, and within 10 minutes here, we'll probably get
No,
there.
no, we can't answer that until we know how much it costs for the finish the improvements in the basin, and how much would it cost for the environmental study and what has to be cleaned there. We can't answer that question unless we know those answers.
Are you interested in buying it if there's?
Well, the basin we have to keep the viability of the.
No,
What's the
that's the
triangle?
county, that's.
County's got owns it right now, why do we?
Well, it's a
County
waste of
owns it.
money
Mhm.
if you just auction it off.
The first question is, do we want to buy it?
No.
It seems to me the answer is no. We'll discuss it. So that's step one. No, thank you, we're not interested. And then we say, by the way, you raise the question of selling it. We advise you to consider these
Okay.
problems before you go sell them. And that'll go to the freeholders, and they'll decide if they want to sell it, and whatever they do, that's their problem. They own it.
Let's go back to the report, though. I mean, the report's where it all got started. Well, it has to be done, it has to be done quickly. We've done it in the past, they reimbursed us.
So Mo, do it again?
And we're not doing it now because why?
They didn't authorize us to do it.
They haven't authorized it.
Okay.
And we've been asking since
Their
first one
answer was,
April.
they'll transfer it back or.
July
auction
and August. Yeah.
We sent the first letter out in April, as I recall.
it.
April 26th, it says.
Yeah.
July 22nd.
And I recall, and at the time, that's a $2,000 bill, right? And it was $1,800, that stuck in my mind. I said, wow, what are you gonna do for that?
Can you get
My
some?
And
my
2 years ago,
recommendation
you
is
sent
send the letter so we can move forward.
Okay. But the thing is, the study's gotta be done within weeks.
Understood.
And by the way, the county sent a letter to our engineer telling him to go ahead, but they have no relationship with the county. So they said, what, what's this all about?
That's the first I've heard. Our when you say the county, who is the
Who
county?
sent him a letter? The guy sent it
The
to me.
purchasing agent sent them a
Jessica
contract.
Foot or
Sent them a contract to do the work, and they
strange?
have no relationship through contractual, if they're an open, non-fair open, and P&M did send it back and said,
Well, how much is it? It's not that much of it.
$2,000.
$1,800
That's what he said.
So it's under a quote limit.
2,100, wasn't it, or what was
They
it?
can do
they
that.
didn't, yeah,
Who's the offender?
T&M Engineering.
They never went through the bidding, on one, they go through the Vietnam, whatever vendor, whatever that was.
The Public Works, if I might, have a Public
Yes, sir.
Works meeting in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday. At that meeting, hopefully we have your response and we can move
Yeah,
forward.
well, you'll have our response.
It's on the list.
Or-
That's at the time where that will be brought up and discussed probably. The next day is the the freeholder meeting is the week before. So,
So our problem dealing with the county, and I think you sense it, there's a black hole over there, you send stuff and,
I understand.
matter of fact, to me, it's comical, to tell the truth.
Well, I will tell
What's
you,
so kind of-
what goes
I
through
laugh
me
at
doesn't
the
go to a black
guy.
hole, so,
Pardon?
what goes through me doesn't go through a black hole.
I understand, that's why,
I
last
can't
time you were
I can't
here,
answer anybody else.
last time you were here, next thing you know, the checks come in, no problem at all. 90% bullshit, it's a waste of your time.
I understand.
I have more important things to do, I go out and get a drink, more important thing,
Move on.
But okay, so I think we're on our way on that. So before we leave here tonight, we gotta decide whether we wanna buy it or not.
do that very quickly.
Okay, would like to make a motion?
I make a motion we don't buy it.
Second?
Second.
Move to second.
Question on the
Yeah.
motion, with the caveat that we let them know how important that is to
Oh,
the
sorry,
park,
that's another story.
that it will cut the legs off of expansion.
Yeah,
And,
okay, move to second, we're not interested in buying it. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, again, with the letter, you'll give it a full, not warning, but caution, all the ramifications of, sorry, and then,
I won't provide the legal advice, I'll just provide some issues that we're aware of.
right, yeah, that's good. Legal advice comes a little more expensive. Okay, where we at? I don't even worry on that.
Your new business.
We're introducing the solid waste, no, we didn't get there yet. You're not done your report.
That was the end of my report.
Okay. Any more questions of the executive director? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. I hear no objections, so ordered. Now, we only have about 49 resolutions here. We can do this the Reader's Digest version or the
Reader's Digest.
Word Nations.
Where do I find those resolutions?
Tab
I think that,
number
In your thing?
6.
that's second.
6, right?
Eight,
Sorry,
eight,
8.
eight.
Sorry, even I'm behind.
Okay. Resolution introducing salaries division budget. Yeah, we had several meetings, one meeting, 2 meetings on this, I guess. One or two?
Two work
Two
sessions.
meetings, 2 work sessions. We Lined it up, we beat it up.
Well, I guess my one question to Debbie, and I asked you earlier, now that Woodstown's gonna be perhaps taking their trash somewhere else, and now that they signed with Logan, I guess it was, that trash could be leaving the county. As John pointed out last month, this could happen if once somebody does that, that affects everything. How many tons are we talking about from Woodstown?
3,000 tons, I believe.
Yep, they're the same as Elway. You just check their,
I think their contract goes
I
through
made a
March.
call up to them
Did you? Okay.
to verify what was the disposition of the material collected. Because it's a hauling contract, not a disposal contract. But
All right.
likely, it's gonna be, if I were a betting person, I'd say it's Gloucester.
It's, as John and I said, it's one truck, it's a truck and one man, so it's not like 2 men in the truck, and we're a little cheaper than Gloucester, I would suspect, but Gloucester's really close for them, really close,
And their rates are a little bit higher than ours.
a little bit higher. And I think that contract expires into March, I think, so we'd get at least one quarter of the year, but, so 1/4 of the 3,000 tons, and the rest of it's gonna be gone. How's that gonna affect our budget that we just got approved?
It's gonna affect our revenue line item.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking $100-some thousand bucks, but here's the point, more importantly, it could, last meeting, and meeting before, the bullshit about, somebody's gonna put these towns together, because that's the natural thing, and sure enough, coming from Logan, I didn't, whoa, you know what I mean? But I know they do Sweden and so forth. So I said to myself, sure enough, it's coming, and it's coming from outside the county. And what I said, somebody's gonna bundle together, and they'll have another interest to go to another county. Never thought of that, but sure enough, it's here. That goes to the, what do you call it, the flow control. Flow control, the problem. Now, if they pick Woodstown off, if they pick Oldman's off, Oldman's right there.
Paul's Grove.
Okay,
Well, that doesn't, flow control doesn't affect that.
sure as hell does.
For the outside contractor, they can go wherever they want.
No, they can't.
No?
No. No way. No
No,
way.
it's not an outside contractor, it's a
I thought-
municipality.
Oh, I thought it was waste management, you said.
No, Waste Management's doing the recyclables. Casworth is picking up the trash right now. Logan Township Municipality will be picking up their trash in the future.
No, flip.
And it doesn't matter.
So the point
Public or
is,
private.
they pick us off, okay? And this is the syndrome of, what do you call them, animals, ostriches? They stick their
Head in the
head in the
sand.
ground, they get hit in the ass,
I
okay?
want my say, that's what they were saying at the meeting. I want my
Okay,
say.
so now, they picked this one off, they picked this off, this landfill will be worthless, okay? Now, we're getting some trash because of our, we need economy of scale getting trash from outside. So it's the largest of one individual. There's a person in this world you can say, stop it, okay, and it'll be done. The stuff we're getting from another county. If you don't believe it,
And the answer to his question is, what's gonna happen, the prices are gonna go up. To the private holders and the towns.
well, yeah, but
To keep this thing running.
it's gonna go to the county, because all the county residents are gonna come, or the county, what are you doing there, over there, you know, this is too much. You gotta put it in the taxes. So, yeah, you gotta do what you want. If you don't adopt that,
Projections.
Flow control.
flow control, it's gonna come home to roost. I'm against flow control, but it's not my game, it's not our game, this is a state game, and we gotta play their game. We're in this, you know.
For the taxpayers of this
What do they
county,
say,
flow
you
control
go to
is-
my house, play poker, you play by my rules. Well, we're playing poker in New Jersey.
For the taxpayers in this county, flow control is the protection,
Right.
that they need to keep the prices down, the taxes down.
And it's gonna happen, sure as I'm sitting here.
And the longer you wait, the worse.
And I
the
said it-
tax is.
A month or two ago, no inkling of that coming down there. I would think another, but that's what's gonna happen. And, whatever, but, you know, everybody thinks this is a big cash cow here. We're on, you know it. We're doing okay, but if we lost that outside revenue, we'd be in the soup. If we had to rely on Salem County trash, the rates wouldn't be $60 a ton, $55 a ton, rates would be $89 a ton, $90 a ton. And once you break, a lot of trash flow is by habit, because the routes get built up, and they don't like to change them because everything is set. Once you break it, it's hard to bring it back. Like, let's say that happens over there, and it starts happening, you try to bring it back, ain't gonna happen, you know? I used to be in that business, so I know my family's in that business. I have a good idea what goes on.
Go back to the budget, yes, that's something.
We've budgeted conservatively on our revenue at 90,000 tons. We were projecting, honestly, based on where we are this year, knowing that those contracts are likely to stay in place with the exception of any normal variance that might occur, of getting about 93 to 94,000 tons. The outside Camden County municipalities are giving us about 6,000 tons per year. So we've buffered, have a little bit of insulation on that, but not much more.
So they pay the rental of the building.
Pardon?
They pay the rental of the building, 6,000 tons.
Could be.
$200,000.
And that's where a lot of this problem comes from. You tied yourself into this contract for this building, and,
There's a lot of issues
yeah.
that brought this down.
Don't worry, I got the resolution, who all voted for it.
Yeah. They're not here, are they?
I don't keep much, but I do, people are around, people are around. And it was a controversy back then, I remember the controversy, I was looking at it from afar, and, you know, we wanna keep the motor vehicle in Salem, we're losing, we'll have no motor vehicle, there'll be a motor vehicle, we have to go to Bridgeton to get the motor vehicle, and the thing, services and all that bullshit, but that's, yes, sir.
That's all right, John. I'm sure it's the same spot it's always been, but your discussions with Pittsburgh were pretty much at a standstill.
Yeah.
Like dead.
Dead in water.
We made them a deal they couldn't refuse, and they refused.
Well, I don't think they refused it, they just didn't answer it. Is that-
Well,
is that
duh.
Well,
We're used to that.
No response.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went back
And-
more than
and
once.
honestly, the offer for transportation, I mean, that was made over a year ago, and that was where we could most likely save them money. That would have to be completely reevaluated now.
I don't know about that, but.
But, I mean, we did have
Between them
discussion
and
with.
PSCG, I think they're our two biggest, outside of, we're not getting that, they're trash, and that's
Yeah.
outside of, you know, and then you lose Woodstown, as you said, you lose others.
But
But they're the two that,
There's a few, like my particular business, I think, I use waste management. I suspect when they pick up my trash, that truck goes that way, so I suspect that it's the end of a route in Gloucester County. technically, we're talking about a ton of money, but there's more like that. I don't know what the number is, but.
We do an open request at the end of every year, and we'll do it again with Gloucester and Camden and come down to see what's needed.
Yeah, because they're supposed to report, like, for example, my 1 ton a week or whatever, not even probably a ton a week, has to be supposedly reported. But the point is, as far as the budget is concerned, we have to be cognizant of that. And by the way, getting that trash that we got, and by the way, we calculated 80,000 ton this year, we got 90. We budgeted 80, is that correct?
No, this year we budgeted 90.
Okay, we're gonna hit 100.
We're gonna hit about 93.
Really, we're not
We may hit more, but we're watching particular
But
flow.
the year before, we budgeted 80,
Year before.
and we hit 90. So we're up to 93, so Woodstown is perhaps 3% or 2.5% of our revenue, which is not a breaker in itself. You lose another one here, before you know it, we're not breaking even, yeah. And, so whatever.
All right.
Where are we at?
Moving on.
So we're introducing the budget. Well, first of all, why don't we get a motion to introduce the budget?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Moved and second. Questions on the motion?
Yes, I have a couple. I talked to Debbie today about some of the numbers, and she gave me good responses on a lot of them, but I have a problem with engineering control account. The horizontal expansion, I checked, the bids are all done, the design is finished from last year, year before, they finished today, or they reported today that it's finished. For 2013, we have $378,000 for that horizontal expansion. Next year, we're bidding, or proposing $350,000 for the horizontal expansion engineering. And then in capital, there's $700,000 for horizontal expansion engineering. I think it's excessive.
Well, let's get back to the philosophy of it, okay? Authority budgets are different than municipal budgets for several
Is that
reasons.
right? Okay.
One, money goes back in the surplus January 1. Okay, the year, obviously municipalities and counties doesn't go back in the surplus 365 days later. That's one. And two, the reason for setting budgets in municipalities and counties is because the tax rate depends on that setting. Here, nothing depends on our budget. So what I'm
So
saying.
you're matching your expenditures to the revenue, and you have to raise your rates on the.
That's right, which we're not doing.
I'm familiar with authority budgets.
Well, I understand, but I'm saying the philosophy of it. So the point is, if you over budget a little bit, what does it matter? Because we do not expend except with the full board's authority.
You don't want to shortchange yourself.
Right. And with 10,000, for example, we have over above the regulation, which we run into today, we have a ceiling of a $10,000 purchase order the executive director can't exceed. Although under the statute, she'd go to $27,500.
Unless it's engineering, it's a professional services contract, and they're allowed to do whatever they want. You didn't get an approval for that $55,000 that you had today.
Oh, certainly, because.
Okay, and that's the account that this is in.
No, you're
It's
wrong.
not?
Because in the contract, because our contracts are not to exceed contracts with the engineers, and we give them a purchase order.
So is horizontal engineering not to exceed $1.4 million?
We haven't said it yet.
What was this year's?
Nothing.
You have to do a
Hasn't been issued yet.
certification. We have to do a certification of funds. Availability of funds is, I think most people do.
Recommendation.
Yeah, and then that gets tied to whatever the maximum per project might be. So for instance, that engineering control line item has the regular landfill engineer in it. We have our monthly meetings, we confer with them on Mike Hansen's site visit and permit and everything like that. There's the topo engineer that's in there, so we have to do that annual survey. The horizontal expansion engineer, now that's the line item you're particularly questioning. That's more than just cell number 9. As we move forward and do, as I was explaining before, cell number 8, after we did that, we had to update the stormwater pollution prevention plan, the groundwater protection plan, the closure, post-closure plan. Those were major mods.
That's not under landfill?
That's
Landfill
under
engineer?
horizontal expansion, because it's tied to the expansion. Those are specific projects that we had to do because of cell number 8. And those were major mods, it wasn't just like updated with a new date and so forth and so on, because that was a 25-year permit that was renewed and issued. The construction management goes into cell number 9, so if we move forward to construct cell number 9.
That's in
No.
addition to the construction management for 50,000?
No, that's the 50,000.
Okay.
I'm talking about the whole engineer control line item, the whole line item, that all this rolls up into. You also have your wetlands engineer and your mitigation monitoring.
Let me interrupt for a second. Every expenditure is authorized by a contract. So, for example, there'll be a contract for supervising the construction. That'll be a not-to-exceed contract. $10, $10 million, I don't know what it'll be, it'll be something. So each expenditure has a control, okay? That budget has nothing to do with the authority of the executive director to spend. She can spend within the contract amount for each engineering project. I would suspect that there's going to be 4 or 5, I would think, right? Separate contracts?
Yeah, every task has a different scope of work.
Right.
So the post-closure plan has a scope of work that is then approved for a specific dollar amount.
So you do that, we do that, through the purchase order, well, it was small through the purchase order system, it was large through the contract. So we have a contract with the T&M, for example. We have 2 or 3 different scopes of work. That's presented to the board. Construction management, X dollars. Then we have the one for the year for general engineering. That has a cap on it, certain dollars. Now, if you can't exceed that, once you get to it, you gotta come back and say, wait a minute, we're up to the.
You anticipate $1.4 million?
Not at this point in time, however, I can tell you if our wonderful DEP inspector makes us modify our permit and take that whole staging area, which is where our tire chips are right now, and all the laydown area, and makes us convert that into a lined or impervious surface with appropriate drainage and slope that goes to landfill. If they decide that they're not satisfied with the work we've done on the road, which is, I'd say 50-50 at this point in time, and if they do not like our plan for the top of cell 7, 1 through 7, there'll be some additional expenses incurred. I can't be.
So you don't anticipate that in the capital budget, but you anticipate the engineering for it in the capital budget?
If we needed to, yes. It could be an emergent situation if necessary.
But going back to the philosophy of it, the budget is a guideline, we don't use it as a management tool.
Well, you use
Myself.
it to set your rates.
Pardon?
You use it to set your rates. Your expenditures are your
Sure.
same as your revenues.
Yeah. If we were
So if
going.
your expenditures were lower, your revenues wouldn't have to be as high.
Right, but we're right on the edge of it right now, and.
Well, what it looks like is it looks like it's a cash cow account, like the marketing was this year. Where you can pull 130,000 out of it in October, and
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that.
it was 160 you made, and then you're taking out 10,
But,
10, and then 130.
Does the state statute permit you to have a line item cash cow? And the answer is no, okay?
So this is cash cow.
No, I'm not saying that, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you have to make a little flexibility for unanticipated things. Now, in the municipality, you have emergency appropriation. And there's reason for that, because you can spread the costs over certain, maybe perhaps many years, because of the implication in your tax rate. But here, the end of the year, you don't need it, it goes right back into surplus, you start right over the next year. This year, what did we underspend our budget by? What's the number? Or what are you anticipating?
Probably about $750,000.
But what a headache it would be if we had to go over that.
We're not permitted.
Right.
We're not permitted.
It would be,
It's
it
illegal.
would be a disaster.
That's another line item transfer I'd like to do every month. That's a big deal.
Well, no, if you don't have enough money, you can't go over your total expenditure.
Well, you transfer, you adjust your
The
revenue.
law does not require us to do those transfers, that's our internal controls. Okay? The law says you can't go over the total appropriation of 5 million or whatever it might be. We've taken the better approach, my opinion, better, through my own.
I think it's better also, but you start out with a budget that you think is reasonable. I don't think that's reasonable.
I do.
How about the 150 for, this is my last one probably, the marketing and sales. At 100, in 2012, you didn't spend anything. In 2013, the account started at 160. It's
You know
down to
why?
10.
Because I made the phone calls and went and made the deals. That's why. You go,
But
you go.
you don't have the capacity to do a lot of marketing.
Who don't?
You don't. The SCIA doesn't. You don't have a lot of landfill capacity until you get number cell 9 in.
No, we got to do 5,000 to 10,000 tons a year. If we lose that, we'll be in deep trouble. We're not talking about a zillion tons. We're talking about 5,000 to 10,000 tons. It's the phone calls,
The meetings.
set up the meetings, go see these people,
Yeah, that's
use
just-
your expertise, or your.
You haven't used them yet, that's all.
I haven't. The hell I haven't.
The budget hasn't shown them.
Oh, no, because of my gas out of my car,
Yeah,
okay?
well, that's fine, but that's not budgeted. I mean, it's,
Oh, you want budget me for gas? Put it in there. How much you gonna give me? How about my cell phone? Well, how about that? I burn my cell phone up. Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky. We had in our idea of sending out all kind of bullshit, but we were able to get,
We did some. We
yeah,
did some.
we
of them.
did some, okay? We were able to get that certain amount that we needed. And we needed, I think, back then, we said 10,000 tons, if I'm not mistaken. And I know where there's 10,000
For
tons.
your connections, your fuels connections, but if you guys aren't here, we have to have the money to do it. We have to mark it,
Understand that.
and we have to have it in the budget.
And, we spent a lot of time. Phil, he got
if
paid.
that's the case, we better leave it in there, huh?
It's not hurting anything, and it's not gonna get spent unless it's,
Well, it was
Documented.
budgeted at our meeting, it was $100,000, and it wasn't a big deal, but today we get another 50 added to it.
Well, that was based on the workshop that we had. And at that workshop, I believe it was Lou who said, we might need to really be doing some marketing if we need to keep our tonnage up. And I asked the question, do we need to increase it back to what it was? So that's where
Yes,
my
I
adjustments
kinda
came
think I
from.
remember that. I don't-
I remember asking him why you had so much for marketing. I asked what you did for marketing, and there wasn't anything.
Very limited marketing is what we've been doing so far. But you're looking at some of it.
The bridge to Delaware.
Yeah, and then, by the way, that's another item, the marketing of the industrial facilities. And, by the way, I have a building over in, I don't know how that place is, exit 10. I'm going by, and buildings are going up there, okay? Foodcom, they're right by, used to be a customer of mine, right? Foodcom, new facility, so that's filling up. And we should be looking to get those new buildings in Salem County, and I believe that it's coming. And that marketing money could be well used there, for example. One thing we have, Phil, he's very knowledgeable in that area, he knows that funding, he's done it for 25 years, so he can call these people up, he knows, he talks turkey, they respect him because he knows the industry. But that costs money. Again, we didn't spend any. I would say we don't, say a prayer, we don't have to spend any. But you never know. And that's the philosophy of it. But whatever, we're down with it. Okay, any other questions on the budget? Hearing none. Been moved and seconded. And we need a roll call on this. Okay, moved and seconded. Roll call, hello.
John Ober,
Yes.
Pete Burrows.
Yes.
Lee Snyder,
Yes.
Bob Whitfield,
No,
Ron Howard.
Yes.
Okay, so for there, so for that. Resolution introducing economic development division budget. Someone like to make a motion
I'll
for
make a
that?
motion.
Make a motion, have a second.
Second.
Moving second, question on the motion. This one's down and dirty, right?
And a lot smaller than it was.
Right?
And a lot smaller than it was.
Which is where we might need it.
Where's the second?
Where's this one?
That's in the packet. That's, yeah, the thing that's in the binder cup, sorry. There's 3 budgets there.
Did I get that?
Yep, right there. You have it
It's
right
the middle one, correct?
there. Yep. First one is your solid waste division budget.
It will be 79.
Which number?
79 for the economic development.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the middle one, it's the end one. We didn't take the motion on a second. Okay. So moving to second, question on the motion. Hearing no questions, I'll assume there are no questions. So moving to second, roll call vote, please.
John Ember?
I'm still looking for, what was the amount on that budget?
The total budget for appropriations, okay, economic development is now 2014, $145,025, down from $209,853 last year. The significant changes were in 2 areas, the marketing expense and special projects.
That's where we at.
Roll call.
Okay, so I voted
Yes.
yes, okay, next.
Pete Rose?
Yes.
Lee Snyder?
Yes.
Bob Whitfield?
Yes.
Ron Howard.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next is the nursing home division budget. That one. This one I used to throw up over.
Motion approved.
Okay, motion approved, have a second?
Second.
Second, moving to second, any question on the motion?
Now, is this, there was some talk of this merging into the solid waste budget, but
Yes, that has not been confirmed with the state yet. They're still discussing that. If that happens, you will not have a final adoption of this budget, but a joint budget. But at this point in time, they're not anywhere closer to putting these budgets together than they were last year.
but the 175 you transferred in the solid waste is to
Yes.
cover this if it doesn't get.
If there's this, right now as it's cast as a standalone budget, the $415,000 being appropriated. Out of that, $175,000 of it, if expended, if needed, those items are things we hope we don't need to do, would have to be transferred from solid waste into this division to cover the expenditures. The rest is reimbursable through the county for the health benefits.
That's for the audit, basically.
No, that's the state health benefits for the retirements.
No. The money coming from, is to cover the potential audit.
Yeah, if there's any expenditures out of it, and I say if.
I understand.
There's a very modest amount in unemployment compensation, because we
Right.
had some of these weird things come out. There is no pension. There's a modest amount for legal fees, for consulting fees, and for accounting, if there is an audit that's stranded out there.
Okay, the 175 was out of net assets?
It has to come out of there, yes.
Okay, I thought it was coming out of solid waste.
It will come out of, be transferred up through the county, down through nursing home. It has to go up from solid waste, net assets, over to the county, back to
They
solid
got
nursing
appropriated
home.
back. That's called the slow motion light. You had to do that
Going the other way.
several, the other one, yeah. Okay, so where are we at?
Got moved and
Move to
seconded.
second, any other question on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
John Ember?
Yes.
Pete Rose?
Yes.
Lee Snyder?
Yes.
Bob Whitfield?
Yes.
Ron Howard.
Yes.
Okay, next item, resolution setting health care waiver compensation for the calendar year 14.
We're in the open enrollment period, so this time of the year, Per the state statute, anyone who opts out of benefits, as long as we're in the state health benefit plan, is entitled to a reimbursement of up to 25% back or $5,000. And we have traditionally had 4 of our employees opt out of benefits, 2 of whom are covered by other state health benefit plans, so they get no reimbursement. The other 2 are in privately funded healthcare plans through their spouses, and they will typically get 25% of that expense back. They must waive the benefits for the entire year. So although you're accepting a waiver for 2014, these funds would not be paid out until December of 14.
I'll make a motion to approve. What number is it?
81.
So,
Second that.
I second.
Second question?
So if we pay the max of 5,000, now what would our total fee be for that year that we would save on that?
What we would save, we're saving about $25,000 per person. We have not reimbursed $5,000 this year. We do have the same 2 employees who are due a reimbursement. One is eligible for $2,600, and we've saved $24,000 on their benefits because they're waiving medical, prescription, and dental. And the other one is eligible for $1,600.
Government's the only place you can work, we're helped by what's more than the average person makes. Okay, moving second. Any more questions on the motion? Moving second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Okay, adoption of official notice of claim form. That's the money model.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Do we need any questions on this one? I hope not. Reader's Digest now. Hearing no question, moving second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay. Okay, authorizing public sale of various surplus equipment deemed not needed for public use by the authority.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, question, I have a question. What's the list of stuff?
List that's attached are 2 computers that came out of service from the Scout House,
We'll get $2
the
for that.
the Volvo loader, which will command a nice change, the Ford F-150 that was replaced by our Ford F-150s, and then the ag mulch bill,
What?
the agricultural.
Oh, right, yeah,
plastic.
okay, gotcha. Move to second? Do we have a second?
Yes.
Yeah, one second. Any questions? Yeah, I have a question. Any other questions? Hearing none. Move to second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, this is authorizing the disposal of this property by a government company like that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Move to second, any questions on the motion? Any questions? Any questions on the motion here? Move to second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, resolution adopting credit and collection policy.
So moved.
I have
Second.
Question?
questions.
Okay.
Why would you, this is obviously everybody can see this, why would you tell the people you're trying to collect from exactly how you're gonna do it?
That's a good question.
Right?
The dumbest thing in the world, right?
I think it's pretty damn dumb, yeah. I think, why would,
Because
are we required to, you know, to have a
Is this
policy?
published, is this published, the
No.
wording that?
No, this is gonna be an internal policy. This is not a public policy. This
Okay.
is an internal SCIA policy. Linda and I had the benefit of attending a credit and collections course not long ago. And as a public entity, you absolutely should have a policy that you can stand behind if you're going after someone, particularly if it gets into even a letter from your attorney. Because if you do not go through a very rigid protocol, they can get you and walk away.
I know it's a graduated thing, I understand that, right? But, okay, so this is not something.
It's not gonna be out in the-
My debtor can, you know, hey, I think they're gonna send me letter 1, I got letter 2, I can wait till letter 3, and
It is an open public record. I mean, if somebody were to
I mean,
Oprah
yeah, there, you
the
can't get around
policies.
that, but, at the same time, yeah, it's not gonna be like on the
We're not
website,
posting
and it's not gonna
it.
be in something that's gonna be really available to the public.
It's the same as your policy on expenditures of $10,000.
How you collect it is called no ticking, no shirty. Yeah?
I'm sure somebody owed money, they know this anyway, now.
Yep.
They're professionals.
One thing trash men do, when that truck gets stopped at the gate, they run down with the check.
And that has happened.
But by having the policy, you know, then if you deviate from the policy, well, okay. We don't have a lot of
They won't
corrections.
deviate
We don't have a lot.
from the
Well, it's,
Well, here's the problem, we had the question before, somebody says, $186, we wanted to collect it 12 years ago. We didn't do what? All we done. You know what I mean?
But you don't have a policy letting $186 go, so.
But Linda and I also.
I understand, but we have to have a policy.
But you didn't have a policy back then, so you're getting it.
We had a policy starting 2 years ago,
Yeah, but not back then.
but back then, we didn't.
I didn't realize you didn't have one
Collecting
back
interest.
then.
which we didn't do before.
Hard to believe.
Pardon?
Collecting interest, which we didn't do before.
Well, right, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, so where are we at? What do we do?
All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion regarding Gateway Park land parcels.
Already done
We already done that, so we, okay. Approving release of bids for construction of cell number 9. Okay, there we are. So, it's like, someone like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Moved. Have a second? Would I like to make it a second? I'll second it. Moved and second. Okay, questions on the motion? This is something we've been doing for 4 years, combination of 4 years. This was actually cell 6B, what the hell is this? I'm confused.
1A, no, 1B. Which,
Whatever that was, the cell number,
Nine.
number 9. Okay. No questions on the motion? Moving second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, okay, so ordered. Approving expenditure over 10,000, Lennox Electric pole relocation.
Make a motion to approve?
Moved. Have a second?
How much do they want to move this?
$29,605.46 because they have to take one pole and split it into two and reconnect fiber. I think it's ridiculous.
And this is not covering the 3-phase back to the,
No, this is
The
no
billing
extension of the electric line. This is just relocating the existing pole on site.
but
and
it
splitting
has the 3-phase on it.
Yes, it does.
So you're back to the leachate tanks with the 3-phase.
Yes, we are. And
So the pumps and all associated with leachate tank, no doubt will be 3-phase. So, you know.
Right, you wanted the 3-phase for the bailing operation.
Well, later on, yeah, whatever. Don't have to go back and rerun it. Okay, where are we at? Move to second?
No, second,
No, we need a second.
Second.
You second.
Move to second. Move to second. Any question on the motion? Hearing no question, move to second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed? Ayes have it. Motion regarding shared service agreement with County of Salem. That what we just talked about?
yes,
How do I make a motion to table? Would that be appropriate?
I'll make a
Motion to table?
Second.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, okay. Approving return, okay, motion approving return of interns, winter, that means Christmas holiday, right?
So moved.
Can't say Christmas holiday anymore, you have to say winter solstice or something. Okay, make a motion, second, move to second, any question on the motion? Move to second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion approving carryover of vacation for staff, what's that all about?
I'm advising the board of this. Typically, vacation carryovers are with my approval, but this is a little outside of the realm of the board's policy as adopted. So the request is normally limited to a 5-day vacation carryover. We have a request for a 10-day vacation carryover because of maternity leave. And we also normally require the vacation be taken by March 31st of the following year. And she has requested it be carried over until June 1st of the following year for her to take care of her baby. So I recommend that we go ahead and do this. It gives us greater flexibility. She could have utilized this vacation in the last 2 weeks and, you know, she
She's
didn't.
gonna have a baby next week.
She is scheduled for C-section on the 6th and we will see if she makes it that long.
motion to approve.
Second.
Move to second, any question on the motion?
Is there any policy where you buy out vacation if you don't use it?
No,
Or why is that?
it's a use it or lose it situation
Use it or lose it, right?
here. I mean, unless there's been, I can't think of a time there's been an extraordinary emergency situation where people have been denied the ability to use vacation, you know, but, no.
Never came up before, right? Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Okay, motion authorizing the hire of landfill supervisor, let's go through that.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, question on the motion. Okay, give us the whole rundown on
Sure. We've vetted through, and the memo said it's going to 68 candidates, vetted them down to 60, who really were not suited well for the position. First round interviews, Melinda and Lynn conducted for 8 candidates, one of whom canceled before the actual interview occurred. Second round interviews were conducted by Casey and I, of 4 candidates, and then we presented the 2 most qualified candidates to the Personnel Committee, Ron and Bob, who then interviewed Beverly. We did check final references. We talked directly to their 2 candidates' immediate supervisors. We make the recommendation that Jeff Jenkins, who is a current supervisor who works for a county down in Fairfax, Virginia, or Culpeper, Virginia, but who does not act as a landfill supervisor today because the landfill is run by Waste Management, be given the opportunity for the position. Our general discussions were that the salary range would not exceed $55,000 per year. By comparison, Lynn is making 58 and change right now. That it be contingent upon him securing his SWANA certification, which he already has and is getting renewed, and has to secure a CDL license in the state of New Jersey. Okay?
That's there,
That's B, if we need it, yeah. That we would also then do a 90 and 180-day performance review to determine how well he was progressing. We had a very, very general discussion with him about ensuring he was still interested in the position on Friday. General salary discussion made it very clear the board is the only one who can do hiring and firing. There would be no formal extension of an offer until after tonight's meeting. As of today, he will not move off of his $65,000 ask salary. He has certainly done his homework. He has talked with other people, not just in this area, but in Delaware and in Maryland and Virginia. And he knows the job is pegged at about $70,000.
Okay, he's Spotsylvania County?
Culpeper.
Culpeper, that's not the county.
Well, Culpeper is where he is, but it's
Spotsy,
the,
right?
yeah, I think so. Let's see,
I'm not
his,
sure of the county, maybe Orange County?
King George County.
King-
King George County. Yeah. He has 15 years of experience at this landfill. He oversees 2 direct supervisors who do the inspections and enforce the permit conditions with Waste
Yeah.
Management.
What does he make currently?
He currently makes
59.
60.
Like 60,
Really?
Yeah.
Of course, that's out of the country. You know, it's Virginia.
Yeah, and as he said he'd expect the wage rates to be lower, the, you know, cost of living is a little bit lower down there.
Good point. Well, before we got into this, not knowing if, I said, we're lucky to get a guy for 55,000. I got a truck driver making 55,000. Yeah, someone can't read and write. Yeah.
He does have the certification.
He will need to, he
He's
has
let it
already
lapse.
started to renew it, but he'll let it lapse.
Are we intending to make a decision right now as to what to offer? Because if we are, I think we're going to a closed session anyway. I would suggest that we do that in closed.
Yeah.
It's not
Are we going to
public.
executive session?
I think I heard
we
somebody
discussed-
say that
I
earlier.
said it earlier that we,
Yeah, I think
perhaps,
Since we're
the
going
no
there.
was here.
We
All
have-
right,
We have a
so,
motion to do that. and we're going-
Second.
so move to adopt a resolution to go to closed session. The purpose of the closed session is,
Well, for this issue, it would be discussion of personnel issues.
okay, so
namely,
that will be the, you'll add that to your
Go ahead and,
resolution?
Yep, I've got the resolution.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay, so we moved in second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Okay, we're now in closed session.
Is that the camera